Good morning, everyone, and today I'm going to be reading a story I wrote called Scales and Stumbles, the story of Brimble, the awkward dragon. Prologue. In a world where dragons were known for thunderous roars, blazing fires, and fearsome confidence, there lived one dragon who, well, wasn't any of those things. His name was Brimble. Brimble wasn't terrifying, he wasn't majestic, he wasn't even particularly coordinated. While other dragons soared through skies with elegance, Brimble usually tripped over his own tail before he even reached the cave entrance. His roar sounded more like a confused squeak, and his fire came out as warm, cinnamon-scented steam. He wasn't feared. He wasn't admired. Mostly he was avoided, not because he was dangerous, but because he was awkward. But Brimble had something no other dragon had, a heart that wanted too desperately to belong. He dreamed of friends, conversations that didn't end in panic, and maybe, just maybe, someone who wouldn't mind his squeaky roar. This is a story of how a socially awkward dragon found his place in a world that never expected much from him, and how he surprised everyone, including himself. Chapter 1. The Dragon Who Didn't Know How to Dragon. Brimble wasn't a dragon who couldn't roar properly. Every time he tried, it came out as a squeaky merp. Other dragons breathed fire. Brimble breathed warm steam. He lived in a cave decorated with books, shiny rocks, and a how to be fearsome poster he never quite mastered. He wanted friends. He just didn't know how to talk to anyone without tripping over his own tail. Chapter 2. The Accidental Greeting. One morning, Brimble decided to practice saying hello. He stepped outside, inhaled deeply, and shouted, "Hello! Oh no. Hello, sorry, hello, wait!" A group of passing goats stared at him. Brimble panicked, bowed too fast, and bonked his head on a tree. The goats trotted away. Brimble sighed. Great. I scared them with my social skills, not my dragon skills. Chapter 3. The Girl in the Meadow. That afternoon, a human girl named Lila wandered into the meadow near his cave. She was picking flowers and humming. Brimble peeked from behind a boulder. He wanted to say hi, but what if he messed up again? Lila spotted him. "Oh, a dragon," she said cheerfully. "Do you like daisies?" Brimble blinked. I, Merp. Lila smiled. "I'll take that as a yes." It was the first time someone didn't run. Chapter 4. Tea with a Dragon. Lila visited the next day with a basket full of tea and biscuits. Brimble tried to act normal, but he accidentally sat on the teapot, sneezed steam into the biscuits, and apologized 17 times. Lila just laughed. "You're adorable," she said. Brimble nearly fainted. Chapter 5. The Village Panic. Word spread. A dragon is near the village. The villagers grabbed pitchforks, pots, and pans. Brimble hid behind Lila. "I don't want to fight," he whispered. "I don't even know how to roar properly." Lila stepped forward. He's harmless. He's just socially awkward." Brimble nodded vigorously, very confused. Chapter 6. The Fire That Wasn't. To prove he wasn't dangerous, the villagers asked Brimble to breathe fire. Brimble tried. He really tried. But all that came out was a gentle puff of warm mist that smelled faintly like cinnamon. The villagers stared. Then someone said, "Well, that's actually kind of nice." Brimble's wings dropped in relief. Chapter 7. The Storm. One night, a terrible storm hit the village. Lightning struck the windmill, setting it ablaze. The villagers panicked. No one could get close enough to put it out. Brimble rushed forward. "I can help, I think." He inhaled, focused, and released the biggest burst of steam he's ever made. The fire hissed, sputtered, and died. Everyone stared at him in awe. Brimble blushed so hard his scales turned pink. Chapter 8. The Dragon Festival. To thank him, the villagers created a festival in his honor, Brimble Day. There were cinnamon pastries, steam-shaped lanterns, and the most awkward dragon trophy that Brimble accepted with pride. Lila sat on his shoulder as he tried to wave at everyone without knocking over tents. He only knocked over two. Progress! Chapter 5: The Dragon Who Finally Belonged. Brimble still tripped over his tail. He still squeaked instead of roared. He still apologized too much. But now he had friends, a village that loved him, and a girl who brought him tea every morning. One day Lila patted his snout. You know, Brimble, you're perfect the way you are. Brimble let out a soft, happy meow. For the first time in his life, he believed it, and Brimble had friends.